He's wet.
Oh yes, it's time for the ABC-Mart MSL Grand Finals between Flash and ZerO. We're going to start it off on Monte Cristo, which is our double map of the day. Except, up at the 10 o'clock position, doing cute little larvae trick already, is ZerO. And this is ZerO's first ever final. And I'm not sure you could say the same for this guy down at the 5 o'clock. I don't know, this might be Flash's first final. I did some research on my sheet here. Let me look. And the Flash, 8-2. Nope, I didn't write it down. So it's either his first final or his 21st. One of the two, somewhere in between, probably. But I'm going to bombard you with stats now. Not stats the player, by the way. That'd be way too much chin. But I did do research yesterday on these two, and they do have a history together of televised games. 7 televised games, in fact. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, well, Flash is a dominant player. He always dominates everyone, so I'm sure the record is in favor of him, lopsided on his side. And it is, but not as much as you'd probably think. Flash has won 4, ZerO has won 3 of the 7 games between the two. And the latest win was actually ZerO on Benzene in the Pro League. That was earlier this year, so the two haven't really played each other in a few months. Handful of months. So it's hard to tell how these games are going to go. Either way, I think it's going to be extremely interesting. Now, let's take a look at what these guys are up to right now. ZerO is, I guess he might be scouting for cheese. He went through the middle, and now he's going down to the lower left side. He sees this SEV trying to sneak by, and now he's chasing it around. So I think he was looking for cheesiness, knowing that Flash might be thinking about being cheesy. This is typically the time that Flash is cheesy, is when he's in a final situation. But we're seeing ZerO, he now has 3 drones out there, one obviously for his natural expansion right there. He has one going down to Flash's base, and he had another one chasing around that SCV, but he brought it back to the mineral line. So I don't think that's going to be anything sneaky from ZerO. And Flash, I think, is thinking about taking his natural expansion. He's going to run into that drone soon. Oh, ZerO is actually talking down at the lower right. I don't know what's going on there. I guess he's giving an interview as he's playing at the same time. Look at that, man. Interview and micro at the same time. ZerO, S-class player, man. Trying to take down that SCV. Finally, the interview ends, so he gets to focus on his computer again. They're trying to take down that SCV that's building the command center. And I didn't see any Marines coming out, obviously, for Flash anytime soon, so he's going to have to basically rely on his SCV to protect the SCV building the command center. And now ZerO is coming down to the 8 o'clock position to throw down his 3rd base. Oh, this is risky. Just took his 2nd base, so he's taking the 3rd. And the barracks just now coming up for Flash, so this is risky from both. I think it was a 14cc build from Flash, and double expand from ZerO. And ZerO might have done this expansion off of the knowledge that he had, which was Flash going for a 14cc. He takes down an SCV, actually, so that's not good. Guy walking in front of the camera or something there. A lot of people reflected in the glass. But everyone in the audience is excited. I think those were ZerO fans there, seeing the SCV going down. Not to mention, he took that SCV down, so that's going to be an early loss for Flash, but he's going to have a double expand on Flash as long as he can fend off the early pressure. Flash is just now getting his 2nd base up and running and finally getting a Marine out there to deal with this. And he has his refinery up already. I didn't even notice him building his refinery earlier. Oh, taking down the drone, though. ZerO probably should have pulled out of there before his drone went down. But Flash, oh no, I think Flash is going to end up scouting the 8 o'clock position. Coming down there, this is extremely risky base for ZerO. Scouted by Flash. I believe that was scouted. Flash kind of playing it cool there, just skirting by the hatchery, just seeing if he can find it. And I do think that he found it. I wish they'd look at his mini-map, Flash's first-person perspective or something like that, to find out if he found it or not, but I'm pretty sure he did. I don't see a player like Flash going down there, skirting by a little bit too far away. He was just trying to hide his SCV, keep it away from any kind of scouting from ZerO, that ZerO would know that he knew about that. But now he's going up into the main. ZerO doesn't really have the troops to fend off this SCV at the moment. You see the lair is coming up for ZerO, and we have an early refinery for Flash. So no telling what Flash is going to do. He could mech on this map, but that is not what he went for against Hydra. I'm remembering back to the Hydra game, he went for pretty standard, fairly standard, Medic Marine with tank support in the middle for the mid-game push. And, oh, the barrack coming up, and what the hell is Flash doing? He just put down his factory, and he's building another barracks. So, wow, this is either going to be a dropship play, or an early science vessel type of build, or Valkyries. Either way, he's trying to tech up as quickly as he can to, oh man, it's ridiculous. Starport, he was trying to get to that starport as soon as he could for whatever kind of ridiculousness he has going. I do believe it's going to be early science vessels or Valkyries. One of the two would be most viable at this stage in the game. But now Flash is scooted by the circlings again, trying to get in there and see the next building that comes up, but he did not get into the main, so he's not going to see what ZerO has planned. And ZerO already has his third base up and running. He's going to have to throw down some sunken colonies soon to fend off the pressure, but the third barracks for Flash, going out there with a medic already. Researching. Oh, I saw the armory for Flash, an engineering bay, but I saw the armory, which means Valkyries are on the way. Flash has varied success with Valkyries in the past. I'm remembering some pretty bad games in the OSL, but now ZerO's trying to get by. He might scout this build. Flash trying to get in there, and ZerO does scout the build. He finds this. He's going to see the armory. He sees everything, and he sees the starport with the control tower on it, which was the most important scouting information he could... Oh, just flash his face like, damn it. Probably should have had a Marine or two there. But the Spire coming up now for ZerO, and another hatchery, and I think he's expanding again. I think he's taking his fourth base. This might be a little bit too risky from ZerO. I mean, obviously, he's going to have to deal with Medic Marines and Valkyries. Flash is going to push out soon since he has his third barracks. This is just extremely risky from both. They're both rolling the dice, playing very unlike themselves. I mean, obviously, ZerO is a pretty defensive player, but there is the first Valkyrie from Flash. But yeah, ZerO is a pretty defensive player, but this is ridiculous even for ZerO. The Hydralisk Den just now coming up. And he's going to have 5 hatcheries out soon, but he desperately needs sunken colonies to protect his new bases, especially that one down at the 8 o'clock position, which is, I think, exactly where Flash is going. He's moving out right now with a small, actually a pretty large Medic and Marine force, and I don't think the Mutalisks alone are going to be able to do this, obviously because of the Valkyrie coming in, no Scourge in sight. And ZerO, it might be a little bit late with these sunken colonies. Flash trying to push up as ZerO trying to fight the Valkyrie and the Medic Marines at the same time to hold his choke. If he can hold this, I think ZerO will be in the advantage because he'll just have so many damn bases. But he's got to get up those sunken colonies. The sunken colonies barely popping up. There are only 2 left. One of them goes down. The Valkyrie's just ripping the hell out of the Mutalisks. The Mutalisks nowhere to be found now, so it means no air support. Just sunken colonies are going to... Okay, finally comes some Scourge to take out these Valkyries, but I think the Scourge went down. The Scourge did not land on the Valkyries and take them down, so ZerO's going to have such a hard time defending this 8 o'clock base. Only 1 sunken colony left, and I think... Oh, freaking Marine! That's got to be a Rainer. That's got to be Jim Raynor right there. Forget about the Raynor brothers. That's just Jim Raynor out there at front, surrounded by ladies as he's taking down the final remaining sunken colony at this base. ZerO decides to cancel, and I think he's going to sack this base. I don't think he's going to try to defend that anymore because he can't really do anything about it. Flash is just going to keep... pushing his troops towards that 8 o'clock position, so ZerO in the meantime going to try to come in here, find the Valkyries, take them down with Scourge, but he's got to keep away from the Valkyrie splash. I mean, that Valkyries are not that powerful, but in groups with that splash, oh man, you can take down so many Mutalisks that way. Oh, the Valkyries! This could be it for ZerO. He might lose his entire Mutalisk clump. Now, the Flash fans in the audience going crazy saying, wow, you just took out his entire main army. So starting it off with Mutalisk from this kind of opening from both is not seeming to work out very well for ZerO, but now he's finally coming in. I can't sacrifice those Scourge like that. Got to keep those Scourge safe so he can take down the Valkyries and get that air superiority again. But Flash making his way to the all-ZerO GGs, knowing he didn't have any air troops, no main army to tackle Flash, and Flash wins it with a Valkyrie Gambit. I can't believe that. Yeah, ZerO just overextended himself, put down way too many hatcheries, way too many bases, should have played a lot more safe, and if he'd had those sunken colonies up earlier at that 8 o'clock position, I think he might have been able to take this game just with sheer economic advantage. Well, exciting first one, but ZerO falls pretty quickly to the Terminator. Alright, let's move on to the second set.